Welcome to The Explainer. We're all about turning complex stuff into simple, actionable guides. So today, we're going to break down the founder's roadmap for building a seriously successful AI agency, and we're using advice from the pros who've already made it happen.
Look, with new AI tools popping up literally every day, the market is getting crowded, and it's getting crowded fast. Trying to start an agency right now, it can feel, well, pretty overwhelming. But here's the good news. There is a clear, proven path to stand out and really crush it.
You know, after digging through all the expert advice, one thing became crystal clear. The number one rule, the one that stands above everything else, is you must niche down. If you try to build AI for everyone, you're going to end up building AI for no one. So, we've boiled it all down into a simple 5-step roadmap for you. We're going to cover everything from finding your focus to building a business that lasts. So let's dive right in with that single, most important rule.
All right, step one, and it's the most critical. You have to choose your battlefield. I mean, think about it. You can't win a war by fighting on all fronts at once, right? The same thing goes for your business. You've got to pick a specific niche.
So, why is this such a big deal? Well, experts like Dan Fageles say specializing gives you 3 superpowers. First, your marketing actually connects with people. They see it and think, hey, that's for me. Second, your deep knowledge of that one area means you can build a product that is just better. And third, your brand gets laser-focused. Once you've landed Amex, you know selling to MasterCard and Discover gets a whole lot easier. That's real momentum.
And let's be clear, a niche isn't some broad category like sales bots. No. The really successful agencies, they go way deeper. They're solving a very specific problem for a super well-defined audience, whether that's based on location, or a software they integrate with, or even a specific channel like Instagram.
Okay, so once you've picked your niche, it's time to decide how you're actually going to deliver your solution. And this is a big one, because this choice is going to define your entire business model, your pricing, and how fast you can grow. You've really got 3 main options here. You can do these massive custom-built projects for huge companies, or you can go the other way and offer small, pre-built bots that you sell over and over. Or you can hit that sweet spot right in the middle with the template-based approach. And honestly, for most new agencies, that middle ground is absolutely the place to be. A template-based model gives you the perfect balance. It's way faster to get a client up and running than a full custom build, but it's so much more flexible than a simple turnkey bot. That right there is the key to scaling your business.
Okay, you've got your niche, you've got your offer. Now for the million-dollar question. How do you price it? And spoiler alert, the old way of just billing for your time, yeah, that's over.
Now, pricing is all over the map. It really depends on what you're offering. At the super high end, for those big custom projects we talked about, you're looking at a serious investment, anywhere from $50,000 to over $500,000.
Then if you move into more specialized, ongoing stuff, like say AI-powered SEO, the standard is a monthly retainer, and the average for that is sitting right around $3,200 a month.
And for those simpler, more product-like services, you can get a client in the door for as low as $99 a month. And that, of course, opens you up to a much wider group of customers.
And this right here, this slide highlights the single biggest shift. You see, traditional agencies, they build for time. Modern AI agencies, they bill for outcomes. This means we're seeing this massive shift towards new models based on performance or even on usage, like charging for every token the AI processes. It's a whole new ballgame.
So, how do we put all this together? Let's talk about taking your niche, your offer, and your new pricing model and using it to land that all-important, game-changing first client.
So the team at OmniFusion AI used this exact 4-step strategy to go from 0 to 10 grand a month in just 60 days. It's genius. First, they found a huge pain point. Then, and this is the killer move, they offered a completely free setup, waiving a fee that was normally over $2,000. The client only had to pay the monthly retainer if they loved the result, and they framed the whole thing as an exclusive pilot program, which created a ton of urgency and value.
It all boils down to this principle from Alex Hormozi. When you take the upfront cost off the table, you're removing all the risk for the client. You get rid of their single biggest objection. You make it a total no-brainer. You make them feel like they'd be crazy to say no.
Oh, and a huge tip here. You have to meet your clients where they live. For the niche OmniFusion AI was targeting, cold email was a total dead end. But cold DMs on Instagram? That was the goldmine. You've got to find your niche's goldmine and just start digging.
All right, last stop on our roadmap. Let's talk tech. What tools should you actually use to build all this stuff? And more importantly, where does your real, long-term, defensible value actually come from?
Well, expert builder Jonathan Miz recommends a stack that's both powerful and affordable. For the back end, you're going to use Python. It's basically the language of AI. For your database, Postgres with the PG vector extension is a super clever choice because it lets you handle both your user data and your AI data all in one place. On the front end, Next.js makes it easy to build and scale. And using Docker means you can move your whole setup to a different host without a major headache.
But, and this might be the most important part of this whole explainer, you have to understand this about your tech. As all these incredible AI tools become easier and cheaper to use, the technology itself is not what makes you special anymore. It's becoming a commodity.
And that brings us right back to the beginning, to the most crucial point of all. Your real competitive advantage, your moat, the thing that protects your business, it isn't the code you write. It's your deep, obsessive understanding of the problem you solve for your niche. That is your real value. So the only question left to ask is, what problem will you solve?